guys, it's Nadine. Again, I am in the same getup and I don't even care. So, this is going to be my very first cooking episode with you guys. And I am not a chef by any means. I'm not a professional chef. I'm just a mommy who loves to eat, and therefore I have to cook. And I wanted to share with some recipes with you guys of things that I make. I make it well, enough so that I don't have to look at a recipe book. And my family loves it, and it's very, very easy. So from this point forward, when I share with you guys cooking recipes or cooking tutorials, it's going to be stuff that I make that I know is fast yet delicious, okay? And it's not that expensive either. Because as a working mom, the last thing I want to do is come home and be slaving in the kitchen, okay? Yeah, no. So I hope you guys enjoy, and this very first dish is called Kalua Pig. Kalua Pig, the history of it is in Hawaii, they usually make it for like major parties. Baby's first birthday is called a luau. We usually make it for that. Weddings. If you guys go to luau's, if you guys go to Hawaii, one of the big things is to go to a luau, which is like a big party, okay? And they have a bunch of Hawaiian food. So technically what they would do is they would get a whole pig, dig a big hole in the ground, line it with lava rock, tea leaves and whatnot, put the pig inside, cover it all up, and then have it steam and cook all day long. And it's called Kalua Pig. And the hole that they dig is called an imu. So I love Kalua Pig, and Kalua Pig is really a staple in Hawaii. It is like the Hawaiian food, okay? But the thing is, I'm not about to go dig a damn hole in my yard to cook it. So I have found a very easy and inexpensive way to cook it without killing yourself. And the thing about this dish is, what I'm going to show you guys is you can do so many things with this one dish. So basically what I do is I'm going to show you guys how to make the Kalua Pig, and then I'll share with you guys other dishes that you can make with it from the leftovers that you're going to have, because you will have a lot of leftovers. So stay tuned for this cooking video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. The very first thing you're going to need is a crock pot, and this is one that I bought from Bed Bath & Beyond. I really love it. It's actually a digital one that has a timer on it, which I find to be very effective when you are cooking things for long periods of time. The main ingredient you will need is this boneless pork roast. Now you can find this in any meat section of the grocery store, and it's rather inexpensive. Next, I have 2 cups of water and then some chicken bouillon. Now I have used either the bouillon cubes or this powder, which I happen to love because it dissolves really quickly. Then you will need some liquid smoke, which can be found in the barbecue sauce section of any of your grocery stores, and some minced garlic. Last but not least, you're going to need some kosher salt. Now, technically, we use Hawaiian salt in Hawaii, but if you don't have Hawaiian salt and you're not in Hawaii, then go ahead and just get your regular kosher salt that can be found at any of. A couple of extra kitchen utensils that you're going to need, or kitchen items you're going to need, is a cutting board and a knife. And I happen to love this cleaver because I'm part Chinese, and Chinese, we love cleavers to cook. Now to go ahead and put our dish together, and it's really very quick and easy. All you do is, or all I'm doing right now, is just removing the pork, cutting open the plastic and removing the pork and putting it onto my cutting board. And as you can tell, my cutting board is a well-loved cutting board because I use it for everything. Well, not everything, but my meat. This is my meat cutting board. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the pork in diagonals. So as you can see, I'm making like diagonal slices, and not all the way through. You just want to cut it probably about like an inch and a half down, so that it cuts it in a diagonal, makes those cute little chunks, but doesn't serrate it all the way through. And that is what you need to do. Then you need to get your kosher salt, and I start with a tablespoon and just sprinkle that over the entire roast. A tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half I usually find is more than enough. Then I'm going to go ahead and take about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of garlic, the minced garlic. I'm just going to scoop it out with my regular kitchen tablespoon, and then go ahead and I'm going to rub it all over and rub it into the crevices of the scored piece of roast that I just cut up. Now we're going to go ahead and put our roast right into our crock pot, and we're going to go ahead and add some of our other ingredients at this point. Now this is a very, very simple thing. That's pretty much all the prep you have to do is what I've shown you already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 2 cups of water and I'm going to get my bouillon, chicken bouillon powder, and I'm going to put 1 tablespoon in and then another tablespoon in, mix it up, and it doesn't have to mix, it doesn't have to mix thoroughly. You just got to mix it really quickly because it's going to cook in your crock pot, so no big deal. And here I have it all mixed. I'm going to take that bouillon mixture and water and just pour it right over the roast. Now I'm pouring it on the sides because I don't want to remove any of the garlic and salt that I have prepped the roast with. Then I'm going to take the liquid smoke, which I have right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and shake it about 3 or 4 times over the pork roast, which gives it like a really smoky flavor and it tastes like you were barbecuing it all day long. Then put the lid on and I'm going to go ahead and set my crock pot. So if you want to cook it on low, you're going to cook it on low for 6 to 8 hours. I am cooking it on high, so if you're cooking on high, it is 4 to 6 hours. So I'm going to go the maximum of 6 hours. And after 6 hours, my crock pot will turn off and it'll be done. Alright, so with your leftovers, what you're going to do is you're going to take it out of the fridge, and this is what it looks like the day after. And I'm just going to shred it, or shred it even further than I did yesterday. And as you can see, some of the fat or oil has congealed, which is not a big deal because you're going to cook it out anyways. Now, the next thing you want to do is you're going to put this aside and then take out a head of cabbage. Here I have a, good sized head of cabbage, and I just cut it in half. You're not going to use the entire thing because that's going to be way too much unless you have a lot of people. But for a family of 5, I just use a half a head of cabbage. Now, I just cored or took out the hard stem in the middle, and now I'm just kind of cutting it, rough cutting it, doesn't have to be perfect by any means, into these little shred or little slices, so thin slices. And you can cut it as big or as small as you would like it. My family happens to like their cabbage really sliced thinly, so I just go ahead and continue to do so with the rest of the entire half of cabbage. Now I have a wok and with some oil in it, and I just go ahead and use extra virgin olive oil, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my cabbage in here and toss it or stir fry it for about a minute or so, just so that the cabbage gets a little bit wilted but not completely soft. You kind of want your cabbage to still have a little bit of a crunch to it. And as your cabbage starts to wilt down a little bit and make more room for more cabbage to be added, I just added further, or the rest of the cabbage that I had remaining. And all I'm going to do is just stir fry this and move it around in the oil so that all of the cabbage gets evenly coated. After my cabbage is a little wilted, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add some of my kalua pig, my leftover kalua pig. Now I just add, and it's really strange because there's so much kalua pig left over that I just added half of my leftovers in here. And I just went ahead and tossed it around with my cabbage, and then I'm gonna season it with some pepper and then some soy sauce. Now the soy sauce is already salty, so you really don't need to use any salt in this. So I would think I put a couple of squeezes of soy sauce in here and like a teaspoon of pepper. A couple of squeezes of soy sauce would probably be like a tablespoon or 2. And then there you have it, your kalua pig and cabbage. One more dish that you can make is this kalua pig enchiladas, and all I have is some leftover kalua pig, some mission tortillas, soft tortillas, and some taco blend cheese, and also some enchilada sauce, medium enchilada sauce. Now what I did was I poured a little bit of the enchilada sauce on the bottom of my Pyrex dish, so that way my enchiladas don't stick when I'm trying to serve them. And I have a flour tortilla right here on a cutting board. I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little line of kalua pig followed by some taco blend cheese into my tortilla, and I'm going to wrap it. Now you don't want to put too much stuff in there because you'll have a hard time wrapping it or rolling it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and line my Pyrex dish with my Kalua Pig enchiladas, and I'm gonna go ahead and repeat the same process until I'm actually completely I have actually completely filled my Pyrex dish with the enchiladas. And it is such an easy thing to make, and I'm telling you, there's so many things you can do with this Kalua Pig recipe that I shared with you initially, that's not even funny. I mean, you can stretch this for like days. Which is what I love about it, because it really is a money saver, a time saver, and a lot of people in my family like it, or my kids love it. And let me just say this, that my kids are very, very picky, so I'm sure that you guys will also enjoy it as well. And if you have picky eaters, stay tuned, because I will share with you guys one more thing you can do with the Kalua Pig for my very picky Mr. RJ. So here we go. I have my pan lined up, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and take the other, or the remainder of the enchilada sauce, and we're going to use that and just pour it over the top of the enchiladas in my Pyrex dish. Now we're going to just take some cheese, and I'm going to add cheese on the entire top of the enchiladas, because we prefer our enchiladas to be nice and cheesy. So pretty much I think I'm going to use about half of the bag and just add that to the top. Then I'm going to take some foil and cover this up, and we're going to bake it in the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes. Now I had so much leftovers that I actually was able to make 2 pans. I'm going to share with you guys one more dish from my very picky eater Mr. RJ. All I have here is a prepared quesadilla already put together. So what it is just a flour tortilla layered with some of that leftover Kalua Pig and some shredded cheese, and then another tortilla on the top of that. And I just have my favorite pan here that Mr. RJ gave me for Mother's Day with some butter in it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and brown and brown the tortillas and melt the cheese and heat up the Kalua Pig. So this only takes maybe like about a minute or so, and once it turns a nice little crispy brown on one side, a nice golden crisp brown on one side, I will then go ahead and flip it over to the other side. And it is really very, very simple. So now in a minute you're gonna see how nice and crisp and golden brown it is. And I just use a paper plate to help the flipping process a little bit easier. So there it is. Now all I'm gonna do after the other side is brown is take my quesadilla and lay it out on this cutting board, and I have this little pizza cutter thingamajiggy that we got from my kids' cooking school when they used to go to cooking school, and I'm just going to go ahead and run it through the quesadilla and cut it into 4 pieces. And this is usually what Mr. RJ eats when the rest of us is eating Kalua Pig and cabbage, because he does not like cabbage at all. So there you have it. So there you have it, 3 extra dishes, all from that one Kalua Pig dish that I taught you in the beginning of this video. So there's so many things you can do with this Kalua Pig recipe after the fact with your leftovers. It's just insane. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now we'll be back to have some more cooking videos with you guys. And like I said, this is just stuff that I make, that I know I make good. I hope you guys like it. If you guys get a chance to try it, please let me know. I'd love to hear if you guys have other recipes too that you guys have of your own that you'd like to share with me too. Alright, so I'll talk to you guys later. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll be back later. Bye!